eat as well, just so you know that it didn't take quite that long for my phone to update. Um, I have the TV on in the background, but the volume is muted. So if you see some stuff reflected in my glasses, it's not intentional. It's just my, background so that I don't feel alone. Oh, here's some stuff from outside. Somebody's playing with a toy that squeaks. So, yesterday was quite a day. I had the boys on the trampoline and took a couple of little videos of them before they decided to come in. And of course, one of them wanted to come in and the other one didn't. And it's very typical when you have two children that, one wants to do something and the other wants to do something else. But I'm only one person. Can't watch two kids in two different areas, so have to, when one wants to go in, we all have to go in because outside is not where I'm leaving the one that's unsupervised, and inside, unless I know Papa's watching them, who was the only other one home at the time, then, I can't just assume he's going to watch the grandkids. So, yeah. When my daughter came to pick up her children last night, we had a bit of an adventure. There was somebody we didn't know who was just kind of hovering under the streetlight in front of our place. And didn't know what was going on. I had no idea. I just knew that we had to get everybody buckled in properly. And did I get permission to post a short? I didn't ask if I could post the videos that I took with them yesterday, but I have them on my phone. Yeah, they're too cute for words sometimes. So I like teasing them. The stuff that we had happened to us when we were kids by the grown-ups who were faster and smarter and doing everything, because they knew the answers, they knew what they were going to do. Hey, Papa John's commercial. Not sure if you could see that in my glasses, but I saw the writing on the box. It's a double reflection, so it might actually look the right way, because this is my right hand, but it's on the left side, so I get the reflection of me, and that's the way that you see it too. Gotta change my angle a little bit because it is the actual show now. I don't want to get a copyright strike, before I can actually. Two lenses are hard to deal with. Or I could just turn off the TV. It's a very odd thing for me to do because it gives me the illusion that I'm not alone. So, yeah, there was somebody hanging around when we were getting the boys in the van and getting them in their seats. And when there's a little bit of tension in the air, the older one picks it up very quickly. And it wasn't really tension, it was just an unknown. And everything turned out okay. So, when we got the boys in the seats, and my daughter asked me a few times if I wanted her to call her dad to, be a presence and make sure that nothing happened. I was like, no, this is a girl who's not necessarily in a good frame of mind. She had been crying before she came up to our place, and she had been drinking. So any number of things could have happened, both before and after. Don't know anything about what happened after. I just kind of talked to her like I talked to you guys, just stuff, just, word salads, lots of word salad. And, yeah, she calmed down, and she, you know, had a few things to say too, but, yeah, she wasn't really familiar with this area, and she was with a group of friends, not at a party, but with a group of friends, and it was kind of a weird situation that I still don't fully understand, but she had stopped crying. She had gotten herself together. I made sure she had the phone with her. She told me she had a phone, and I told her that I would just like to see it just to make sure that, it was there, it was working, and that way, she could call somebody for help and feel safe rather than, try and ask her if she wants to come in to a house where she doesn't know anybody, doesn't know how many people are there. You know, she just knew that there were two little kids there that left, and, she knew nothing about us. So, yeah, I didn't want to try and make her even more uncomfortable. And, yeah, when she felt like she could, she thanked me for talking to her and walked away. And haven't seen or heard anything since, so she probably won't necessarily come back. She might not remember. She wasn't overly intoxicated, but I could tell that she had had a drink or two anyway. And then when my daughter got back to where they live in an apartment, and there were some authorities there when they got home. Not for their suite, but for a suite on the same floor. And when it's just one parent with two kids, it's kind of like herding cats to get them to, to go with you. And, if they're not holding your hand, you have no control over them. So, she generally unlocks the door and they go towards their suite door. But, down the hall, there were these authorities, and the older grandson just made friends with a peace officer, which I'm not sure exactly what the difference is between peace officers and police officers, but they drive around and they can, I believe they can issue traffic tickets, but I'm not too sure about that. Yeah, they were walking back to Grandma and Papa's after school, and he decided to sit down, and the peace officer was just sitting there doing some paperwork in his car, and my grandson went up to the car and started talking to him, and this was just after his diagnosis, so my daughter was able to say, I'm sorry, we, you know, we're going through some stuff, and he's just curious, and she mentioned the diagnosis, and the peace officer was talking to my daughter about it, because, he didn't really understand. And I mean, when you have somebody there who is special needs, you can't always, I don't know the right way to, they don't always take things the way that other kids do. Like if you ask him to step away from the car, he might take it personal and start crying, or might just step away from the car. In case you're noticing that I'm not too worried about what's showing through the window, that is mostly the field behind me for where that school is. So, yeah, there's no houses there. There is a house that's off to that side, but I'm not showing that. Excuse me. So, yeah, I try not to show other people's houses, drop other people's names, because it's not really fair. And this is definitely not the news, so we don't need to mention celebrities or anything. So, I am not quite sure what to talk about. There's nobody watching right now. There was somebody watching, but they left. Yeah, everything turned out okay, even though had the potential to go very wrong, because, we do have a very big field across the street from us, and it's not a very well lit field. So had this person been somebody who was just trying to, set someone up for being really nasty, like, I've watched way too many crime shows. I've watched all of the CSIs, all of the Criminal Minds, Crossing Jordan. Yeah, I own all of Bones, so the things that people will do just don't really surprise me as much. But, something told me, just talk to this girl, make sure that she feels safe, and then she went on her way. And I know that her phone wasn't really close to dying. I know that she was confident in her steps when she was walking away. She wasn't continually looking over her shoulder like she was when I first noticed her. And yeah, some excitement, non-issues, very fun. Yeah, because I'm in the living room, I'm not sitting in front of my computer, so I don't know what temperature it is, but I'm very hot. I was up half the night, because for some reason I was having trouble sleeping. And thought about doing a live in the middle of the night, but yeah, I don't know what kind of notifications or how loud they are, that you'd get. So, yeah, I didn't want to give somebody a notification at, let's see, I think it was somewhere between 1 and 4 when I was thinking about doing that, because I just realized I wasn't sleeping. And, sometime between 3 and 6 in the morning for my Florida watcher. Not fun. And for the people here in Alberta that would get the notifications, it would be somewhere between 1 and 4 in the morning. And the only reason you should be trying to contact someone at that time is either if you know they're awake or if it's an emergency. So, didn't qualify as an emergency. I just, life happened. Eventually I got to sleep. Oh, yeah, that was my point. It was 5 degrees Celsius last night, so it was kind of chilly. My window's still open, but I have turned my fan off because I realized that I feel colder when the fan's blowing at me, even though it's just circulating the air. so I just kind of have turned it off for a few days now, and still haven't closed my window. So, but we are heading to the tail end of September, and it is not unusual to have those white flakes floating around. Don't want to say the word because I don't want to call it any sooner than it has to get here. So, yeah. Okay, that was most likely a game notification on my phone. Those will happen quite often because I play quite a few games on my phone, to the point where I generally have to charge my phone about 3 times a day because I get it down to that 5 to 15% range. And yeah, I use my phone a lot. So I did get a little bit of excitement last night in a good way. I applied for a job online and got an auto response to that. And that was a few days ago. At 1:04 in the morning, I got an email saying that my application was accepted for an interview. So I had a confusing night, and then I had a little bit of excitement, and I did a screenshot and sent it to my daughter, the middle child, who is the mother of the grandchildren, because I didn't quite understand how I schedule this interview, and it didn't tell me when it is, so I just hope I can work around my doctor's appointment, because I made my doctor's appointment for Wednesday morning. So I might do a video or two just being on the bus, just as long as I know there's nobody behind me. And when I do a short, I can have the phone the other way so that, the sides don't show as much. And I'm probably not going to be quite as cautious about addresses because the bus will generally be moving and probably don't have quite enough time to look at the addresses, and I can let you know if I'm in Edmonton or St. Albert. So that way, you can generally tell the difference between the St. Albert buses and the Edmonton buses by the seats. You can definitely tell by the outside, but probably won't be showing you those. I will only show people who will consent to being on YouTube, and just like when I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I might not post all the videos that I do. So, life happens. And when I can just do it in either 15-second chunks or 1-minute chunks, because those are the videos that I can that's the length of video that I can upload to YouTube. Yeah, life is fun. We will, I won't do any videoing in the doctor's office just because that's really not fair, and you never know when other people are going to talk about their medical stuff. And in Canada, we have rules about what we're allowed to do. Hi, Cole's Corner. We have rules about being able to take people's pictures in public, and, well, not necessarily in public, but there are rules about needing permission to take people's pictures, and I definitely think a YouTube video falls under that category. So, Cole's Corner told me earlier that she's going to a movie tonight. I guess they haven't gone yet. So I'll say hi to both of you. And And yeah, I really hope you enjoy the movie. Brandon saw the same one yesterday, I think. So, I didn't get his review, but I did hear that there are some references to the original Top Gun movies. So, a little exciting. Oh, okay. I thought you were actually going to the theater. So, so I'm talking over the movie, am I? I have not seen the movie, so I can't give a commentary. So, other than just saying, watch out to the left. Because I like to pretend that I can know what's going on in other places. So, it's just me thinking I'm funny. You know how when somebody tells you over the phone that they can't find something, it's like, okay, well, move 2 feet to the right and dig. So, when I'm looking for something and I just can't find it, I find it helpful to just say it out loud. And it's almost like you're calling whatever you're looking for. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it says, hey, here I am. And sometimes it says, ha, I'm going to go a little bit further away from you. So, I decided to do this in the living room because the father of my children and the son have left for a little while and didn't tell me how long they were going to be. And I thought this would make them come home and be noisy and interrupt the live. So, hasn't worked yet. They're not here yet. So, I wish there was a way that I could actually see who's watching, because I can see that there's 3 people currently. But that's the highest it's been this stream. And it goes down to 0 and up to 3. So sometimes I think I'm talking to myself, and I might very well be. It's not unusual. I talk to myself anyway. Oh, hey, maybe that's why you can't see very much outside. The sun is going down. It's starting to get dark. So there's a light post right there in the field, and that is for lighting the skating rink come winter time. And they usually do a skating rink that isn't in the fenced area, so that, like almost for beginner skaters. Oh, that makes more sense. You paused it. I don't think you should interrupt movie watching just for watching me live, because I'm going to post it and you'll be able to see it later. I haven't skated in years either. When we were still living in Edmonton, before our first move out to small town Alberta, I bought skates. I got skates for all my children and myself. I went as far as going to the skating rink and putting them on and standing up and holding the side and just made my way back to my other footwear, which was most likely boots, but possibly shoes. I was not very comfortable with the lack of control that you feel when you're on skates. So I am not a pixie. I am not a slender woman. And when I fall, it hurts. And seeing as I only had my children with me, there wasn't really anybody there there really wasn't anybody there who was in a position who could help me get up if I did fall. And falling and not being in control were my biggest fears. So, what did you say? Come on. It worked yesterday. There we go. Skating is hard as you get older. I don't think I could do it again. I don't know what happened to the skates that I bought, because they did not get very much use anyway. If I knew where they were, I'd let you have them, because if you have them, you can use them. If you don't have them, you have a built-in excuse to not use them. Yeah, I've never been rollerblading. When I was younger, I owned my own roller skates, and that was really exciting. That beep was another game notification. It didn't show up, so I'm not sure what it was. Yeah, I do the live streams from my phone, and I play a lot of games on my phone, so that happens quite a bit. I have some silent notifications and some that are noisy and some that sound different. You roller skated as a kid? Never inline skated. No, I haven't either. Shortly after we moved to St. Albert, there was somebody who had, her daughter was turning 16, and they found a roller skating rink that was open. And we had, there was a skating party. So I attempted to put on, I put on some rollerblades. I attempted to stand up, and I promptly sat down because I didn't want to fall down. And we were briefly up to 7 viewers. Very briefly. Somebody accidentally tuned in that didn't want to talk to me or look at me. And this particular rank would allow you to change your mind once. So if you had the rollerblades, you could switch to the roller skates, or if you had roller skates, you could switch to the rollerblades. And I thought, well, maybe I'll be more comfortable on roller skates, because then there's the 4 wheels, and it actually, when you're not moving, it has a nice base for each foot. So, nope. Didn't feel safe standing up in those either. Thank you for the likes. This is the most I've had for likes during a live. We're up to 4. I haven't been able to like it yet because for some reason on your phone you can't, but on the computer you can. Sports World was fun back in the 80s. We went to a few different roller skating rinks in the 80s. So, yeah, I don't remember doing any in the 90s. It was so fun, and then all of a sudden it just died out. And all the roller skating rinks were closing, and... Howdy! Hey! You're on your own! Hey, Terry! I can say that nice and loud and comfortably because I know that the Terry who lives here isn't here and won't just appear in front of me and ask me what I want. So, yeah, Tracy was saying how much she wanted to go ice skating and roller skating. I'm a troublemaker. Yeah, I don't even remember what size the skates were when I bought them. But that was a long time ago. It was well over 10 years ago. So, yeah, we don't want you to break any bones. This is also why I tell people that I'm a troublemaker when I say something to cause trouble. Because, I mean, I'm sure Terry knows you well enough to know that that is not going to happen. So, I mean, sitting on a beach sipping margaritas, yes. Getting you in ice skates or roller skates, absolutely not. Not if he wants you to stand up, too. So, I'm very excited. We just reached 8 viewers. You love that I'm a troublemaker. I think that's why we get along so well, my dear. Because we both kind of poke the bear a little bit. As long as we, don't push it too far and actually, crazy glue you into some skates of some sort. I think that would be going too far. So, little treat here. We've got a visitor that I don't think anybody can see. Oh, yeah, you can see him. That is Toshiro. And he is currently sleeping. He's been nice and quiet and not fighting with the other varmint catcher. So, yeah, I really like black cats, but our cats, they stay inside. Long before I ever had cats or dogs or anything, I've had one dog and multiple cats. But long before I had any of those, I decided that if I did, they were not going to, be allowed to roam outside on their own. Because we knew someone who had the unfortunate incident happen to them where their cat was indoor-outdoor. So they would let the cat out and, just kind of wait for the scratch at the door, or however, to let it in. And one day, the cat didn't come back. And eventually, they got part of the cat back. It was very unpleasant to see, and it actually made the front page of one of our local newspapers at the time. And I don't want to say what it's called because there are globally other newspapers with the same name which have a way worse reputation. So I'll just say it wasn't the Journal. And anybody from Edmonton will know what paper that is automatically. So, does anybody have any questions? Anything they want to say other than the cat's cute? He's up now. Let's see. Do you want to be on? There we go. Want to say hi? A black cat on a black chair. Yes, Cole's Quarter, that is the right one. If I were a fish, what kind of fish would I be? Probably a blowfish. Because I can look pretty unassuming sometimes, very non-threatening. And then when something just hits me that one way, everything changes, and I can be a complete mama bear, the biggest bee in the world. Not as in buzzing, but as in I'm censoring. So, yeah. We either got lucky or got unlucky years ago when we kind of inherited a cat that was black and white and had just had a litter of kittens when she first came to us. So we were temporarily housing her and her kittens. Mama bear isn't a fish, no, but I was just trying to explain how the blowfish will just go to, like completely physically change the look. Yes, Cole's Corner. I believe you are a complete mama bear because I've met your mother and I've met your sisters. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so oh, yeah, she wasn't answering that question about what kind of fish she would be, I don't think. Yeah, I generally over-explain things a lot. Okay, I should probably not have that reflect on the screen. There we go. We do have plastic on our windows because when it gets cold, every mama has the potential to be a mama bear. Living in Edmonton, living in Alberta anyway. When it gets cold, it gets really cold, and sometimes the average window is not enough to keep most of the cold out. So, yeah, we generally plastic our windows. I know Cole's Corner, it is going to get cold soon. I'm not really looking forward to that because I don't ski either. So, I did a little bit in high school, but I went for a ski evening. How cold does it get? It has gotten colder than minus 40 when it's really cold. I don't want to catch the bus when it's that cold. I'm not quite sure what the actual coldest temperature in Edmonton or St. Albert would be on record, but I do know we have broken the 40 below barrier. It's not horrible when you're inside drinking tea or cocoa, or if you actually like it, coffee. I'm one of the weird people who doesn't drink coffee. And I like to say I'm not old enough to drink coffee, just because it gets me funny looks. So, yeah, when you're inside, nice and toasty warm, it's fine. When you have to take the bus to get to work, kind of sucks. You love iced coffee even in the winter? Yes, I like 7-Eleven Slurpees. Doesn't matter what season it is. I do have them more often in the summer, but I have been known to walk through a snowstorm when I lived close enough to a 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee and come back and not have it all gone by the time I got home. Cole's Corner says, it gets so cold it hurts your bones. Sometimes, but I try not. As an adult, I try not to stay outside that long. As a kid, we used to go skating at the community skating rink. We would go sledding down a hill because the where I grew up, in the community I was living in, there were two outdoor skating rinks. They were side by side, and off to the side of that, there was a nice hill for sledding or tobogganing, and that was all in the field that was adjoining two schools. Yes, cold was definitely much easier to deal with as a kid. Yeah. We would go and we would skate and we would go sledding for hours. And, just go home and just like there was nothing. Like, it was nothing. Our parents didn't worry about us. We didn't have cell phones. They knew roughly where we would be, because if we took our skates with us, we were at the skating rink, and if we grabbed the toboggan, we were going to the hill, and they were in the same place. So I don't recall ever getting a ride, either to or from going skating or going sledding. So just because I don't recall it doesn't mean it didn't happen. However, we would go and we would just play, and we would play a kind of tag on skates where when somebody would tag you and you were it, you would have to put your hand where they tagged you, so you would be able to chase people and tag them with your free hand. I think that was more for the entertainment of the older people around, because, when you're skating with your hand on your hip or on your rear, it's very interesting. And that came to mind because I remembered somebody was, she was tagged on the back, and she kind of, I think it was more of a hit than a tag, and she kind of leaned forward, and while she was it, she had to stay leaned forward. Yes, it was so much easier as a kid. We didn't care if it was cold, because we knew that we would go home and we would be nice and comfy and, just have hot chocolate. Because, what kid wants to drink tea or coffee? And then I think things changed when my brother got to junior high, because then he didn't want to hang out with his younger sisters, and hot cocoa is awesome in the winter. I tried to start a tradition with my kids when we would go to their Christmas concert at school. Yeah, we would always come home soaking wet after sledding. Well, you also lived in the country growing up. I'm pretty sure that your sledding was a little more hardcore than ours. I tried to start a tradition with our kids that when we went to their Christmas concerts, then we would go out for a treat after. I'm almost sorry for making you crave hot cocoa. Not really, but almost. So we did that probably up until the year that I had my son, because I had to have contingency plans in place. My daughters were going to two different schools, and I am going to let some stuff slip that I don't have permission to let slip. My son's birthday is in December, just before Christmas. And the last day of school before Christmas holidays was December 21st. And I did not look forward to going to pick up my daughter from school, because one of them took the bus because her school was further away, and the one that didn't take the bus I got to pick up every day. Well, I kind of dreaded going to pick her up from school because every day without fail, multiple people would say, "Oh, no baby yet." And my girls were born roughly 2 weeks early, before the due date, and my son was born 3 days before the due date. So I thought this child was never going to come out. So that year, I had to have contingency plans in place because I knew that any time from the beginning of December, I could go into labor. So I had to have backups for picking kids up for school, for meeting the bus, and all sorts of fun stuff. And the school that my daughter bused to, I phoned the school to make sure that I knew exactly when their Christmas concert was. And we're never really ready for winter, George, not unless we love it. So I phoned the school and let them know why I needed to know what the date was for the Christmas concert. And they told me, and I was relieved because it was not the same day as the other school. I enjoy fall, but it's not my favorite season. So yeah, I was relieved after talking to the administration for the one school and just kind of let them know that if anything were to happen, because at that point it was just tentative plans for when their Christmas concert was going to be, I said, okay, that's great news because it doesn't interfere with the other school, and I can have the same person as contingency plans for both of them. Well, they changed the school that was farther away, changed their night of the Christmas concert. Did not let me know, even after I specifically talked to the administration and asked if, this is my situation. I need to make sure that, she can get to her Christmas concert. I need to make sure that we have a backup plan just in case, I can't be part of it. Because their father was really not into doing any late night school stuff. Their concerts ended up being on the same night, and this was when I learned the lesson: be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. I really hoped that I would have my baby not before their Christmas concerts. And I had secretly hoped that I wouldn't have my baby until after the Christmas holidays started. It ended up being okay because my sister drives. I don't. My sister took my older child to her Christmas concert and back, and I was able to take the younger child to her Christmas concert and back, and we got to, do our yay, it's done, I'm so proud of you stuff. And that last day of school, I was dreading picking my daughter up because you'd get the inevitable, oh, you didn't have your baby yet, oh, trying to be encouraging, trying to just notice things. But I was like, you know what? I'm done. I am ready to not be pregnant anymore. So that last day of school, I had a watch in my hand, And I had it in my hand because it was easy to slip it in my pocket and pull it out. And as I was picking my daughter up from school, I was timing contractions. We didn't end up going to the hospital till way later that night. And it was really interesting timing because the father of my children, his cousin was getting married the next day. Well, my son was born at stupid o'clock in the morning. I don't remember exactly what time. I just remember that no normal person should have been up at that point. So, when we got notice about the cousin getting married, we had a choice to RSVP by mail, by email, or, a couple other ways. I think phone was one of them. But I chose to email her. And I said, if I have to give you an answer now, because I knew I was pregnant and I knew I was due around then, I was like, I'm going to have to say no, because I will either be very anxiously awaiting my child, because at that point it would have been really close to the due date, and I really didn't think I'd be pregnant still. Or I'd have a newborn and have to be relearning how to walk again, because it's not fun to have a baby. But yeah, she was like, well, you know what? Say yes anyway. Bring the baby. Babies are fun. Because not quite sure if she thought that I would have the baby by then, but when I when I gave birth in the middle of the night, I was not going to a wedding the next day. So we did phone and apologize, because we were not going to be going to the wedding, and I only thought it was fair to at least let her know that we are not going to go to the wedding, but we do have a really good reason for not going. So, as sorry that I was that I missed that wedding, I was not in any shape to go anyway. So, yeah, babies are fun. Especially when they're not yours and you can hand them back and go home and get some sleep. And there were a lot of things between all of my pregnancies that I'd forgotten about labor. It's so much fun when you remember them when you're in the middle of it. Oh yeah, it did hurt this much last time. Not too fun. So I'm not sure if I have more to talk about, but I would like to ask the new people here where they are located and approximately what time it is there, because I'm in Western Alberta, and right now it looks like it is coming up to 8:30. So, yeah, we're not the westernmost time zone. I know where Coles Corner and Terry Cole are, and it's roughly the same time there because we're in the same time zone. But, I don't know, maybe I scared people off. Vancouver, okay, so it's just about 7:30 where you are. And you probably don't experience winters quite the same way that... Yes, Terry, I know where you are. It does get colder in Vancouver, but it doesn't generally get quite as cold. Hi, Alicia. Okay, I know for sure that I have more than one person watching now, but it says that there's only one. And I have 6 likes. the most I've ever had before I was able to like. It's very exciting. Yeah, what I remember most about Vancouver was the size of the houses. I'm not sure if it was just the area that we were going through, but the houses were huge. They were like almost mansion sizes, and like the sizes of the houses that you see on movies and and on TV. And like 3 houses per block as opposed to, I don't know how many we have here. On my parents' block, I believe there's probably close to 10 going from north to south, facing either east or west. So I don't remember if I ever actually counted the houses. Wouldn't surprise me if I did. So I'm guessing George left. Wait, was that, Alicia, was that your George? I didn't even make that connection. I never knew George's last name. Or I have not yet learned George's last name. What is my dream destination? Other than to actually dream and to sleep. I was talking to Cole's Corner about this the other day, and I ended up getting a message that's all in German and it doesn't offer a translation, and I don't really understand it, so I'm going to have to reply that I need a translation to that. One place that I definitely would like to go is Austria, because my father's from Austria. And yeah, while I was talking to Cole's Corner about that, there was another person on who lives in Florida, and they also want to go to Austria. They haven't been yet, but they've seen how beautiful it is because their cousin lives there, and they can, chat and or other stuff. So it's been an hour. It's been almost an hour. We're coming up to 58 minutes. So not too many time zone differences. That's good. Well, my biggest fear. Oh, geez. There's too many things I'm scared of, Alicia. But fortunately, since I've owned a snake, I'm not sure if you're aware, but at your sister's wedding, there was a garden snake that was around the barbecue area, and some of the kids noticed it, and then it kind of came under one of the barbecues that was closest to the house, and my daughter actually thanked me, because if she had not been in a home that had a snake before, then she probably would have freaked out a little bit. So, yeah. I'm scared of a lot of things. I'm scared of heights. I am big arachnophobe. I not necessarily scared of making a fool out of myself, because if I was, I wouldn't do this YouTube stuff. Yeah, I hate spiders. I've killed lint because I thought I have seen it move. And I know that lint is an inanimate object and doesn't really die, but I have smacked it so hard and repeatedly that if it had been alive at one point, it would have been dead. So. Oh, do you know what kind of a spider it was? I may have been bitten by a spider before, but No, the lint can't hurt me. But hitting the lint can hurt your hand. Oh, recluse spiders are very dangerous. I don't like spiders. I wasn't always scared of them because where we lived up until I turned 5, and we lived there for a while I was 5 too. We had a lot of daddy longlegs around, and I wasn't scared of them. I would watch them, and I would, wow. If you waited a week or two longer, you would have lost your leg. Well, I'm glad you didn't. I'm very glad you didn't. Because, yeah, with the stuff that you've been through that I know of, it's crazy. And I know I don't know everything that you've been through. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a really big adjustment. Oh, I'm about to get busted for not returning a text message, aren't I? My oldest child is watching. She texted me a while ago and asked me a question, and I haven't answered it yet. So, oh, she was going to ask me in person instead. So, you don't mind that I would never have a spider as a pet. If I see a spider in the house, I talk to it. I say, this is your only warning. If I see you again, you're dead. No, it's a challenge. She doesn't want to ask me a favor. She wants to... I forgot to mention fish, as in pets. Somebody asked me if I was a fish, what kind of fish would I be? So, I did have two fish at one point, and they were the type that couldn't share a tank. But I got this little tiny plastic tank, and it had a divider in the middle. So, yeah, this particular type of fish, oh, that's easy. What kind of Dorito would I be? I would be nacho Doritos, because they're the best. You have successfully derailed my train of thought, Alicia. Oh, the fish. You can have, I believe you can have more than one female. You spelled nacho wrong, sweetie. You can have more than one female, but if you have more than one male in a tank, they will fight to the death. Ah, she spelt it as in, that's nacho cheese. Sometimes my children like to think they're funny too. In case you didn't notice, I didn't laugh. I will later, because that's what I do. Itchy eye. You would be sweet chili heat? Well, I understand the sweet part, and I understand the heat part. Okay, love you lots too. I'll see you later. See you when you get home. Yeah, you can be kind of feisty sometimes, Miss Alicia. Excuse me. That's not always a bad thing, though. You prefer popcorn as opposed to Doritos, or as opposed to sweet chili heat? I'm not really into spicy stuff, so I will eat the jalapeno Cheetos. Are they home now? I don't think so. I don't see anybody in the lights. Jalapeno Doritos. Sorry, Cheetos I like. My head is a popcorn at Cole's Corner. Hang on. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. I have been eating a lot of microwave popcorn because I've been craving salty stuff, especially at night. I like having snacky stuff at night. And do I like ABBA? I love ABBA. I'm surprised you like ABBA, although I'm not sure. The wedding of your mom's that I did go to, the one that shall not be spoken of, I do remember ABBA music being played there, but I didn't know who requested it. So, my kids like sweet chili heat, especially the boy. Oh. You were going to go see fireworks? Where were you going to go see fireworks? So, oh, the cat is no longer on the chair. Last I saw him, he was at a litter box. Any special celebration? Because, my daughter, my oldest daughter, her boyfriend's family has. Did I know that Betty White is older than sliced bread? Not anymore. It was a family out there. Okay. Oh, so the fireworks just happened. You weren't going to see them, I think, if I understand correctly. Yeah. I watched Golden Girls on, I think, Disney Plus. It was either Disney Plus or Netflix. Must have been Disney Plus, because if I finished it not too long before she passed, then that would be a good thing. I can't watch it yet. Okay, she'll explain later. Huh. I do love the Golden Girls, but I can't watch it yet because really soon after one of them passes, I can't. Because I think, like when they make the jokes about, what will happen in the future, and I'm like, nope. Nope, that didn't happen. And until I can do that kind of thing without tearing up, yeah, just can't sit there and watch most of those. It's kind of funny, though, because MASH doesn't affect me that way. So, most of the cast of MASH is gone. How do I feel about 90210? I did start watching it when it was new. This is about Beverly Hills 90210. That it was new when I was a new mom, so I'm assuming that started in 1992 because the new seasons would have started after I became a mother. And the father of my children said, "Oh, that's a stupid show. Why would you watch that? Why would you waste your time?" So then I kind of stopped watching it. Okay, Lizzie, that's definitely something that can wait till you get home. MASH and 90210 were both good shows. Very different, but both great shows. She had one inhaler as needed, and one that I think she was supposed to do on a regular basis. But now I guess she has to do them both on a regular basis. I don't know. She'll have to tell me more when she gets home. Both my daughters have inhalers they are supposed to have with them. I don't think that their breathing issues actually get to the point of emergency. So, okay, I just got a silent notification and it showed up on my screen. That was exciting. Yeah, I guess I have a lot to talk to my children about today. But I have to wait for them to come home first, so. Being that the middle child lives in an apartment, her laundry generally gets done here. So, her clean laundry was being taken back to her place, and that was quite a while ago. I'm sure they left before 6, and they're not back yet. Okay. Just one is as needed, and the other is once a day. And they're both regular ones, so I guess. I'm pretty sure what Cole's Corner means by an emergency one is the as needed one. Because some people let their breathing get pretty far before, kind of like when your mother starts coughing. How if I don't take a cough drop at the right time, my coughing just keeps getting worse. So. You can message through Messenger, but I think Cole's Corner is the one that is. I know I'll be seeing you, so I can get all the details later. But if you want to chat with Cole's Corner, then. Hey, Cole's Corner and Terry, does it cost more to rent movies on your TV out in Seba Beach, or is it the same just because it's cable's cable? Go Oilers. Ew, hockey. I know she's on your Facebook. I'm pretty sure I put her on your Facebook. $7. We have just recently switched to TELUS in August. I am so not a hockey fan. When I do the Let's Go, it's for the timer, for the countdown clock. Oh, I think I did know there was a hockey game today. It's in Edmonton, isn't it? Because I think my friend and her son got last-minute tickets and posted some stuff from Rogers Place. I only saw her with her younger son, not with both of them. Excuse me. I need to get a new laptop so that I can actually do stuff with my computer, because my laptop now. I thought that was in Calgary. I don't know what they were watching. If I was a shoe, what kind of shoe would I be? Old, beaten up, and missing my other half. Are you doing that just to distract me from my hockey stuff? I've never been into sports. What I cheer for during any sports cast is that clock, because once that gets down to 0, then that part of it is over. I think you would be a kitten heel. Cute and sensible. You'll have to send me a picture of a kitten heel. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, I love being asked questions. You just kind of derailed my train of thought a few times. Yeah. The Terry that I live with. Um, short heel. Okay, I understand that. Didn't we call those pumps? So, yeah, I haven't worn heels in a very long time because I just decided that they hurt my feet too much, and I am definitely comfort over fashion. So, um, shorter than pumps, because pumps are usually like what I consider pumps is about half inch to an inch. So, but I definitely like the wider heel. Well, when I go to the work that I've been doing for that season for the last 6 years, I wear flats because that way I don't have to worry about you like a wedge. She didn't ask what you would like to be. I'm sure you guys have been through that anyway, because Alicia likes asking questions. Oh, maybe you haven't. That's a good choice. But, Ms. Cole's Corner, would you be one slipper or would you be a pair of slippers? And if you're only one slipper, would you be the one for the right foot or the left foot? These are things that I just need to know now. And what kind of slipper would you be? Would you be like a Cookie Monster slipper, like a SpongeBob slipper, or just one that covers your toes? Aw, a perfect set. You're with your other slipper. I think the perfect pair of slippers would be nice and fluffy and one blue and one pink. But you'd be an Air Jordan. No, you're a slipper. You're with Cole's Corner. You're right and he's left. That's funny. Oh, I would love to be a fly on the wall in where you guys are right now because I can only imagine what you're saying to each other as opposed to what you're typing. You wear fancy slippers. Yeah, so Cookie Monster. Whoops. Oh. You're going to be walking in circles, one Air Jordan and one slipper. I think you'd be more walking in circles if one was a heel and one was not a heel. So, have you ever watched somebody try to walk with one heel broken and the other one still fine? When they're stilettos. I was stepped on by the heel of a stiletto once. It really hurt. So, what is my favorite place in Edmonton to visit in Edmonton? I'd have to say my mom's house or my sister's house or my friend's house. I have more than one friend though. There are some friends that their parents still live in the community that my parents live in. What shade of blue do I absolutely love? Royal blue. The year my sister got married, they had a house fire. And I didn't know that. I just knew that there was... Teal is a very pretty blue as well. Pastel blue, not quite as much because it's more like baby blue, and I'm glad you love your wife. I'm very glad you love your wife. Is that just because you don't want to sleep outside tonight? Yeah, I definitely want to get a computer that I could use, because the computer that I currently have does not recognize the camera. So I cannot use that camera to do a stream of any sort. But I'm pretty sure I need an actual computer to be able to have people call in and have them on with me, so that you can actually hear the back and forth instead of, waiting for me to see if I'm going to actually read the question out loud or just answer it and make you wonder what the question was, unless you can actually see the live chat on the side. So, yeah, I kind of thought he was trying to stay out of trouble. No, I can't do that on the laptop. I had a computer, a person who was very good with computers look at it, and he said that the computer knows that there's a camera there, but it will not recognize it in order to use it. So, yeah, so that is that. I need to get a new laptop. I want to get a brand new laptop though. The one that I have, I got secondhand. So, whatever happened to it happened before it was mine. So, the person who looked at it said it probably had something to do with the Windows update that was on it. So, well, I'm pretty sure that TikTok has, I think it has a 2-minute limit, and we've been on here for, I've got an hour and 22 minutes, almost 23 minutes. So, somebody's driving by. You can live stream on TikTok. I was definitely not planning on being on the live for over an hour, and this is by far the longest that I've done so far. I have 7 likes. That's awesome. I'm going to have to check. Only if you have 1,000 plus followers. Okay, well, it's going to take me a long time before I get to 1,000. Because I got back up to 57 yesterday. So, it's harder than I thought to get people to follow you. I don't know. Well, I think Cole's Corner and Terry are leaving. You've told me you have TikTok. Or are you telling Alicia? I know, I don't remember seeing George or the person from Vancouver before, so I might have more. That's exciting. I will, when I get to my room later, I will see how many followers I have, and I'll do a little woohoo short with the actual number. And okay, well, Lizzie, I think that you should do the request on TikTok if it works similar to why Toronto? If it works similar to Facebook, so that way, because you don't always have the same name for everything, and Cole's Corner usually has. I have a feeling I know why. My daughter just texted that she might have to plan a trip to Toronto, and she'll talk to me about it later. We have family that lives in Ontario, but not Toronto, but I know who she knows who has family in Toronto, so I'm thinking it's something about that person. So, all right, we are coming up to an hour and a half. I am giving up on waiting for those people to come home. My phone was, I think, around 50% when I started. Are you going to show me what it is now? Oh, I'm down to 16%. So, I'll hold out till we reach an hour and a half. And then I will sign out and go to my room and put the phone on the charger. And when it gets up to a decent amount of percentage, 60, 70%, I'll check the computer to see, well, I'll check somehow to see how many people I have subscribed to me. And then I will do my little woohoo video, because whatever it is, it'll be exciting because it's more than 0. So, any other questions brewing in your head, Miss Alicia? If I were a potato chip, I'd be all dressed. I'll let you figure out why. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really care for the Walmart store brand all dressed because they have a little bit of a spicy kick to them. Well, a little bit more than the Lay's all dressed do. So, and my phone is officially down to 15%. If I was a TV show, what would I be? I would be one that isn't necessarily very popular. I like the Ruffles all dressed as well. I generally find Ruffles to be a little on the greasy side, but I've heard that about Lay's too, so I notice it more in Ruffles. And I had my daughter get me the Ruffles all dressed from Costco because the only Lay's that they had was the yellow bag, which is the plain. I love those ones. I just wanted a little bit of flavor. Conversations are happening that aren't including me. I like it. Did you just call me a pumpkin? My daughter's sending me emojis. Well, she sent one. She sent some a while ago, too. Oh, it's not a pumpkin. Okay. Well, I don't really want to go closer because I did a live from the backyard yesterday. And when I was trying to read messages, I pulled the phone really close to my face, and that was not a good look. So I will squint at it later. So we are down to 35 seconds before we hit an hour and a half. Yeah, I'm kind of giving up on waiting for those people to come home. So, it is what it is. They don't have to check in with me. It is officially 9 o'clock. So, life has happened again, or still. I know, I was looking at that, and I can't figure out which window that is either. Because the live that I did from the backyard, I did a lot of walking around, but none of our windows open out. They're all, they just slide on the inside and have a screen on the outside. And there is a part of it that freezes where there's a window open where it swings out, and I don't think it was the patio door. So, I don't know. I could be wrong. I'd love to figure out where that is, because no, not a ghost, Alicia. It's a window that doesn't exist. Maybe it was a past renovation on the house that's coming back. On film only. Alrighty, we made it past an hour and a half. Yeah, ghost window. I think you've come up with a new movie, Miss Alicia. Quick, get that registered. Another dimension. Oh, fun, fun, fun. Alrighty, I am going to get my phone on the charger before it completely dies. And love chatting with you as always. Ghost window coming to the big screen. Coming through the big screen, Alicia. There's a theater near you, and I missed the year. Oh, 2024. It has been fun. I really enjoy chatting with people. So, yeah, saying goodbye is where I have an issue. Sometimes I have to get the last word in. But, good night, Miss Alicia. Good luck with your movie. All right. Lots of love, lots of respect. Stay safe. And we'll see you next time, whenever that is.